2011, it was May. We show up to this cancer center, and I was like, all right, I know how to lead a small group. I was like, we're just going to do the same thing there. 20 plus ladies came that night. And for me, I was like, wow, there are hurting people out here, and they want to talk about their story, and they need a place to come amongst other women who understand what they're going through. As patients, I feel like a lot of times we hold a lot in, because I know for me, I was protecting my husband and my children emotionally, and I didn't want to share everything sometimes because I didn't want to upset them any more than they already were. And so I needed a space to be able to be vulnerable and honest, but also to gain comfort and encouragement too. So we show up, and it was a great night, and I was like, all right, we're going to keep doing this. It was one group at the time. So fast forward to that August of 2011, I continued to do self-exams, even though I had had a double mastectomy. I knew that they couldn't get every cell. I had noticed something on my right side over here. I thought it was scar tissue. And I thought, I'll just tell them. They said, have you noticed any changes? And I was like, well, yeah, I noticed this spot over here. They were like, well, let's go ahead and ultrasound that before we do your MRI. And I was like, all right. Ironically, I was in the same room I had been in 8 years before.
Oh, wow.
So I'm laying in the room, and she puts the ultrasound on there, and I could tell by the look on her face, she knew that it was cancer. She's like, I'm going to be right back. I said, okay. I just laid there, and I looked at the ceiling, and I was just like in disbelief, honestly. I was like, I don't understand this. She comes back in, and she's like, we're going to go ahead and biopsy it. And I said, all right. She's like, we'll call you in the next couple of days. I was like, okay. So the next day I was in Target, and I was shopping for care packages. I was just buying stuff to make these care packages. And they called me, and they said, Sarah, I'm so sorry, but it's cancer again. And I said, and at that time I was 34. And I said, okay. And she just explained to me what the next steps would be. I went to the car, and I just sat there for a while. And I just talked to God, and I was like, I really don't get this. And I really felt like God spoke to me in that moment, and he said, Sarah, this is not a hobby for you. This is a calling on your life. I believe that, we're all created for a purpose, and God knows every moment that we have here on this earth. For me, it's to give him glory and to spread his hope to all his people. And this was going to be a way for me to do that. And honestly, I felt really inadequate to be able to even step into that space, because, who am I? So many women around me, their journeys are so much different than mine. At the same time, though, that doesn't mean that we can't share hope. That doesn't mean that we can't still encourage one another and walk with each other.